This is an absolutely disturbing experience I had with my friend. Let's call her Anna. Anna and I just finished college, and we were celebrating getting our diplomas. It was Anna, Taylor, Pat and I when we rented out an Airbnb for the week. It was a nice, cozy cabin looking over the lake. The listing said the Airbnb owners were super hosts, so all of us felt comfortable chipping in and just sharing the bunk beds or sleeping on the couch. It was really nice and affordable for us just graduating out of college. We have never been in this town before. The road trip was about a 4, maybe 5 hour drive, so we stopped at a lot of nice hotspots and made a fun road trip out of it, just so we can stretch our legs and make more memories mostly. With the road trip ending, we came to the cabin just right before it got dark. We wanted an early start to the morning to go hiking and kayaking. We got the wine and started unpacking our baggage, freshened up, and went outside to explore the area. It was a lot of fun, and we started a bonfire and made the typical campfire s'mores. We went back at around 12 a.m, and immediately we felt something odd. For instance, I can almost guarantee the kitchen lights were off before we left, but they were on. Okay, no worries. Anna was just telling me, "Oh, you probably forgot or something." I brushed it off, thinking it wasn't that big of a deal and just to enjoy the vacation. I also rationalized that maybe one of us came in and forgot something, so they turned it on, even though all of us were together. But anyway, back to the story. We went to the kitchen to make some more snacks so that we can play Uno Spin. I should mention Anna's long-term girlfriend recently died, and she was broken up about it, understandably so. So, we wanted to make sure she had a good time. All of us, except Anna, was straight, but we still sympathized with her, because we all couldn't imagine losing our boyfriends. Sasha, her dead girlfriend, was really a nice woman. She was studying sociology and wanted to get her master's degree in psychiatry, I believe, if I remembered correctly. Anyway, she had a great future ahead of her. Sadly, her life was taken by a drunk driver, and Anna, understandably so, is still struggling with it. So this vacation, we especially wanted to cheer her up and take her mind off of it, with some card games and whatever else would be a good distraction. The goal was just to enjoy ourselves. So we played card games and smoked a bit of weed and had a mini nacho party. It was a really fun and good time. We eventually got tired as it was approaching 1 a.m, and we decided to freak ourselves out and watch the scary movie, Exorcism. On the couch, we drifted to sleep until we kept hearing some loud banging at 2:30 a.m. from an animal, which is what we were hoping for. Taylor, who has been a Girl Scout most of her life, said it sounded like it was a bear scratching his back and was banging against the cabin. We had to be satisfied with that answer, but it was really hard for us to have a good night's sleep because of the noises. But we managed to sleep anyway. "Who's calling at 3 a.m?" I asked Anna. I looked at her and was shocked to see her as pale as a ghost. I asked her what was wrong. Apparently, she received a text from Sasha, her deceased girlfriend, saying, "I love you." What kind of sick joke is that? Of course, she tried to answer by asking who's this and why they're using Sasha's phone. No answer. We kind of lost sleep. It was 4 a.m. Anna was still spamming the number and calling, but it just kept going to voicemail. I kept feeling some strange vibe, like someone was watching us or something. I didn't feel comfortable. Then she received another text saying, "Help me, I'm in pain and it's cold and dark." I honestly was pooping my pants just like the rest of us. Anna, on the other hand, was furious that someone is playing with her emotions that way. Then she kept receiving texts about only personal things they would know, as well as some disturbing images. One image was of a shadow, another was teeth, the other was just hand and skin. I'm not sure, but it left us all pretty disturbed. Honestly, if anyone has seen the show Pretty Little Liars, that's what it felt like. Like we were receiving a text message from A, and the whole room was dead quiet, waiting for what's next. Finally, the silence broke when she received a phone call from this person and anxiously answered it and put it on speaker. All we heard was breathing, and then at the end was a loud scream. Not a sinister scream, but like this woman was in pain. We all felt bad for Anna. After that phone call, we were all on edge, and Anna was crying, and we hugged her until we all fell asleep from all the anxiety and shock of it all. Not gonna lie, Anna needed a little more weed to calm down. After that night, we kept having some unexplained things happen, like every time we go out and come back, we find things misplaced. Also again with things like lights on and our stuff missing. But Anna's phone was the most disturbing one out of all of this. We need an explanation. Is it possible that a dead partner is texting from the other side? Please let me know. At the time of this story, I was a single young 22-year-old woman, and I ventured into the world of online dating and stumbled upon a guy, let's call him Bill. Our initial interactions seemed harmless enough as we exchanged messages. We talked about typical stuff like what we want to do in life and what we work as now, etc. Everything was going well. This relationship only happened a couple of months because one day it took a surprising turn when we exchanged numbers and he initiated a call. Because before then we were sending messages on Snapchat or funny stuff on Instagram. I enjoy watching funny cat and dog videos, and we would send them to each other. Until after one of our conversations, he adopted an unsettling demeanor, referring to me as his pet and subjecting me to a weird intelligence test, such as, what would you do if a train was on the way and would run over 5 people versus 1 person? Would you pull the lever or not? That sort of thing. Suffice to say, it's a very subjective answer, but despite all his testing, I did pass, in his eyes, the test. But since then, his behavior grew increasingly strange. One particularly concerning opportunity involved was when he asked me to visit him and star in a homemade horror film, wherein he envisioned me as a stripper, with clothes on, performing in scenes of a questionable nature, including a chilling scenario of bathing with him in a tub of fake, or so I'd hope, blood. His unsettling ideas even extended to plans to lure me into the woods to experiment with hypnosis using a sapphire necklace. Feeling extremely creeped out, I decided to end ties with him. I knew I wasn't going to be one of those dumb blondes in horror films. Nope, not me. As I went to his profile to block him from further contact, curiosity led me to go through his photos first. What I discovered only fueled my unease. He was a bald man full of tattoos, sporting eerie white contact lenses, and posing in unsettling scenarios, such as, again hopefully fake, blood-covered garage while wearing a clown mask. Yeah, should mention I really hate clowns, so seeing that was deeply unsettling for me. Without hesitation, I blocked him, hoping to leave this creepy encounter behind me. Years later, just when I thought I had escaped his eerie presence, fate threw an unexpected curveball. While I was driving home from the grocery store, a vehicle pulled up beside me at a red light. To my horror, it was Bill. His eerie grin and knowing wave sent shivers down my spine. I watched him as he sped off. The memory of our strange conversations and his eerie demeanor came flooding back to me. That night, I made sure all my doors were locked and I double-checked the windows. Luckily, that night I didn't see him. But I heard a few strange noises like footsteps outside, but I was able to comfort myself and say it was either a deer or small animal and drifted back to sleep. From that day forward, thankfully, I have not seen him again, and I hope I never have to see him ever again. I couldn't help but wonder what could have happened if I'd agreed to meet him in person, but I was grateful for my instincts that led me to block him all those years ago. From that day on, I was more cautious about who I interacted with online, realizing that not everyone is who they seem to be. My friend lives in Nelson, Nebraska. The town is small, and it has some abandoned houses and structures. My friend and his girlfriend decided to go exploring one night and took me along with them. They played the game, take only pictures, leave only footprints. We decided to go at night time. That way it'll be less likely for us to get caught by cops for trespassing. The building we decided on exploring that night was an abandoned old folks' home, since we heard a lot of things were left behind when the building closed and we were curious to explore. We entered the building around 12 a.m. It was pitch black, so I took 3 flashlights because I am scared of the dark, and I'm not going to be stuck in the dark, crying like a little girl. You and I both know there are a lot of horror movies where the flashlight flickers and then goes dark. Nope, not happening to me. We met up at the home, and my friend Tyler and his girlfriend Stacy were both excited, and they brought EVP to see if they can catch a voice in the EMF detector, as well as a video recorded that Stacy held. We were able to go in through a broken window. Surprisingly, the doors were locked. Once we got in, we noticed we entered through a bedroom window. In this room, we found a dresser with a necklace and some pennies on top. We also found some pictures that you would typically see in an abandoned house, but one picture that freaked me out was of a couple in black and white not smiling. Looked like it could have been from the 1800s. Cool, my friends thought. Yeah, cool. I started to get this strange feeling like we were being watched. I looked around in each corner of the room to make sure there were no squatters. I did bring pepper spray in case there was. We walked out of the room and entered a hallway and found the grand entrance. When we looked up to the balcony, we noticed a faint light. So, naturally, we wanted to check it out. When we entered upstairs, we found what we assumed to be the patient's old room. What we found odd about this room was that there was only a Christmas tree fully decorated with tinsel standing in the center of the room. The weird part was the tinsel was floating on the tree and flickering. The really weird part was that the home had no electricity or a sea, but yet the tinsel moved as if it was blowing in a slight breeze. Freaky, we both thought. Tyler whipped out his EMF, and it did go to 5 red lights, so he also started recording with the EVP and asked if there was anything in the room with us. My stomach was tangling the entire time. Please don't answer. Please don't answer, I thought. I tried to rationalize that the EMF light might have been from leftover electricity. I don't know, but I didn't like it. Finally, after 5 minutes of talking and breathing a sigh of relief when there were no answers, we decided to leave and check out other areas. We found the kitchen. It was filled with stainless steel countertops and yellow walls. Something with fingers was appearing in the big refrigerator. They left in a hurry. Tyler opened his mouth and broke the silence and said, "Well, this is strange. I think I'll cook us some lunch." All of a sudden there was a noise in the dark over in one of the corners of the kitchen. 3 beams of light jumped at where the sound came from. Nothing. So he said something about deli turkey meat and bread, and again another sound from the other side of the kitchen, closer this time. The flashlights turned and nothing. Every time he mentioned a food type, the sounds were starting, surrounding us. He said Brussels sprouts, carrots, and then the sound stopped. I said to my friends it was time to go. After all, Tyler woke up something. They agreed, and we left and went back home to watch the video Stacy recorded. In it, there was a reflection with a set of eyes that could be seen on the video blinking and following us. Very concerning, as we didn't see any of that with our eyes, but the video picked it up. The night was fun, a little scary, but for the most part, fun. We enjoyed ourselves, and my wife said she wants to go with us next time since she couldn't, as she was working the night shift at a local hospital. We'll be visiting our friends again soon. He says there's a house where the family who lived there just bailed in the middle of dinner. I'll let you know how that goes.